Look, welcome everyone tonight. I've got about 15 minutes to speak and get this sort of running before you guys can head back tonight to a nice warm fire. It's very chilly tonight. Usually this presentation or the extended side of it takes about 4 hours, so 15 minutes. I'm going to give it all to you in 15 minutes. Okay. Who's glad interest rates didn't go up today? That was good, wasn't it? I tell you, they wouldn't have wanted to do it. Look, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the state of the property market tonight. And everyone in the room tonight is mainly in that sort of investment market. When you're talking about buying in your super, the majority of times it's sort of 350 to sort of the mil range around there. It can be a little bit more for some people, and especially if they're buying commercial premises or something like that. But most of the people in the room are going to be talking about different hotspots in different areas, but mainly sort of focusing down that path. Okay, so we've got median house prices at the moment in Sydney. We're still the highest. It's interesting about Darwin. The last 12 months, Sydney's topped Melbourne as the best growth market, recording an improvement in house values of 5.3% to 2.5%. If I have a few ums and ahs tonight, I haven't done 15,000 auctions and speak every weekend for about an hour. Everyone, if you notice when he spoke, there was not one not one ah. Unbelievable. Well done, Pete. Look, renting's still the most expensive in Sydney, and our median weekly rental price is about $485 per week. That's 33% higher than Melbourne. That's quite high, isn't it? 33% higher than Melbourne. And Brisbane's about $370 per week. Just going to go through a few stats tonight. I haven't really gone into the graphs and all that sort of thing because I want to run through this so I can then open it up to question time tonight. There's a few suburbs there where the median house price has had some fairly extensive growth in the past year. Hopefully someone's got an investment property in that area or live in that area. Someone's putting their hand up over there. She's got a big smile on her face. All right. Look, John Edwards, John's been around forever and a day, and he is someone that's very well respected in the property environment. And he's saying that we're at the bottom of its adjustment phase at the moment and it's going to improve from here. And he's saying that he's looking up to about 37% total increase in value over the next 5 years. I'd probably agree with him at the moment in regards to the bottoming out phase. I actually think we've already hit the bottom, bounced along the bottom. Believe me, when the media starts telling you that it's a buyer's market, you've missed the market. Just. All right? Because all the buyers start to come back into the market then. A lot of this is driven by media. So at about 4.5% this year, but the 20-year average is around about 7% annual growth. So it's sort of falling behind a little bit there. So why does the Sydney property market hold its own in the good and bad times? If you have a look at that, in regards to 2,300 people are moving to Sydney per week. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Sydney's unemployment rate is 4.5%. It's below the national average of 5%. So a lot of people are coming here for work, and they're coming here to probably, in one sense, earn higher wages, but they're paying higher rent and everything else, so it all sort of washes out in the long run. 450 new dwellings are added to the market each week. Do your maths, 2,300 people moving here per week, and only 450 dwellings. No wonder there's a chronic rental shortage, and we've got less than a 2% vacancy rate. Why is it the right time for the investor at the moment? The rents are up 5% in the last 6 months. I think they're going to be up around 10%, maybe a little higher than 15% in regards to by the end of the year. But what we're seeing is that there's just so many people back into that rental market. It would have even been more today if interest rates have gone up, because people are falling back into that rental market because they simply can't get finance. The other side of it, wages are growing, but they're not growing as fast as probably everyone thought they probably would be. If you're buying an investment at the moment, depending upon what suburbs and that sort of thing, you're around the 4.9% to 5.2% yields. As I said, if interest rates move any further, people will slip back into that rental market. We're just simply not building enough dwellings, everyone, at the moment. We really aren't, for the huge intake of people. Face it, everyone wants to live in Sydney at the moment. It's a place of diverse culture, great job opportunities, and a good place to move the career forward. So what makes a great investment property for your SMSF fund? We want to make sure that you've got good location to transport for your tenants, because a lot of the times there might only be one car or there'll be no cars. Proximity to the CBD, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Well, actually, I'll talk about it now. The vacancy rate for properties within 10 kilometres of the CBD dropped below 1% last week for the first time in history. So that is just incredible. But 10 kilometres out from that, it increased 1.4%. So who wants to buy an investment property 10 kilometres within the CBD? That's what everyone talks about. That's what I highly recommend. You're always going to get your rental increases if you buy in the right location. When you are buying a property, and if it is an apartment unit, make sure you get a balcony. Every tenant likes to have a barbie, a drink and a fag out there. They need a little bit of fresh air, look at the stars. All right? It is important if you can actually get parking facilities for them. It's really important. And try and make sure that when you get a 2-bedroom apartment, that the bedrooms are fairly the same size, so the tenants aren't finding about, I'll pay 110 and you pay 90 and all that sort of thing. Try and have them fairly close to bedroom size as much as you can. This is a property, just a bit of a case study I bought last week in Waverton. This was a 2-bed, 2-bath, 2 parking, new kitchen, old bathroom and old ensuite in a small block of 15, 100 minutes walk to the station at Waverton. I purchased it for $710,000. The rental returns around $630 per week. The yield is just over 4.6. You're probably going to turn around and say, Peter, but you said the yields were up around 4.9, 5 and that sort of thing. You've got to understand, if there's a higher yield on a property, it will always be, in most cases, a lower capital gain in the long run. I buy properties for higher capital gain, but then you can get into another conversation where you buy properties for cash flow, etc., positive gearing. There's not a lot of that around left anymore. But you've got to be really aware that something like this, and this is why I've decided to do these seminars with Perpetual. I'm going to put out this point now. I've been doing these superannuation seminars for 5 years now. But there is no one in the marketplace that has got the end-to-end in regards to that unit trust in getting a property like this. As you can see, this property, well, you can't see because it shows the new kitchen, but the ensuite and the bathroom, they were old. It needed carpet, it needed paint, but it had a lot of potential, and this is something that you can buy in your superannuation fund. Everyone has been saying you can't do this. You need to buy a property that's new. Otherwise, you're going to get hit with enhancement rather than replacement, and this and that, and the whole thing goes on and on and on. These guys have got it nailed. I think one of the reasons they have got it nailed is because Chris Pulowski, isn't it? He runs their department. He used to run the ATO, this section of the ATO, didn't he?
He works for the Commissioner of the ATO in prosecution, so he knows what you can and can't do.
Okay, so the thing is that, guys, I don't know how much I can push this point.